Hello and welcome to another episode of Not Without My Sister, a podcast about nothing extremely intelligent, but everything all around us. I'm Beatrice McCabe, and this is my sister,
Rosemary McCabe,
who is delighted to be here with me virtually. Today we are going to talk about what if you could be best friends with people who don't know you. Does that make sense? Who would you choose of all the famous people you don't know, but you think you know? Who seems like a really good friend?
You know what? It would actually be 10 times funnier if this wasn't about famous people. If I was just like, yeah, there's a girl down my local Tesco now.
Oh my God.
She works on Parnell Street. She just looks really nice.
You feel free to add those people.
Feel
Feel free to add those people. You definitely have loads of them.
I'm a very friendly person. People find me amusing. I make jokes at random. No,
that's not what this is about. You finding other people desirable looking as friends to hang out and have drinks. Oh, you know, right now, like honestly, stick in the road. I'd be like, come back to my house and let's hang out. Because
you're honestly right. I'd almost go out for lunch with Fred and Rosemary West at this stage, even though it'd be confusing. She'd have to be Rosemary 1. I'd be Rosemary 2.
Rosemary, in poor taste. Well, I would like to give you an example. So this week, I was on my Instagram, swiping through my Instagram, which has become like the only thing I do. And the other day, my kids were like, could you put your phone down? Like, we're actually here. Could you pay attention to us? And I'm going, I need to maybe take this off my phone, right? And because it's true.
Sorry, can you put your phone down? We're actually here. It's a fucking pandemic. Of course you're here. Where else would you be?
Well, 100%.
Sick of each other.
But actually paying attention to them would be different. You know, I'm down, I'm working, I come up, they jump on, they're like, hey, Mom. And I'm like, I'm at work. Can you not tell I'm at work? They're like, no, because you're in the kitchen and it's 11:30. Anyway, so I was on Instagram and I was saying, I was following, what's her name? Jamila, what's her name?
Jamila Jamil.
Yeah, and I was like, and I follow her and I like appreciate everything she says. But then I was like, I just need to unfollow this one. Like, she's driving me nuts. She's always... In fairness, I genuinely agree with everything. But like in this moment in time, I just need somebody lighthearted and entertaining to be paying attention to. Do you know what I mean? And she's just very... She makes me think a lot and I'm not sure I like it, right? And then there's also Busy Phillips, who I haven't unfollowed yet. But she does an awful lot of crying, right? And then the other day, I mean, she was talking about her kids, so that was different. But like, I was getting all upset about my kids. She was like, oh, it's really hard to parent. And when your kids go through tough times, and I find myself like, there's a little tear going down my cheek. And I'm like, I don't need this right now, right? I was like, who? And I was thinking about herself and Michelle Williams way too often and their friendship and wondering how are they friends and what do they do and do they hang out more now that she's in Brooklyn, etc.
And what does Michelle Williams think of Busy Phillips' Instagram stories is what I want to know.
Yeah, I was like, I need to get a grip. And then I saw Katherine Heigl, whatever her name is, has a new TV show. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, what's it called? Firefly, which I've...
Something like that.
Firefly Lane.
Where she has brown hair and she got her teeth done, as we all know, a couple of years ago. And I was like, God, I'm thinking like, this is literally like, I'm like, I have way too much time on my hands. I'm like, God, I really preferred her teeth before she had them done. They were so adorable. I loved her little snaggle tooth. She was such a dote. Yeah. It made her seem really friendly. And then I was swiping along and I was like, oh, there's Amy Huberman. I'm like, I love Amy Huberman. She's such a nice smile. I love her TV show. I'd love to hang out with Amy Huberman. And I was like, what is actually wrong with me? Right? Like literally what is wrong with me? These people don't know me. They're never going to know me. Why do I want to be their besties? Right? And then I was like, oh, maybe it's nice. I wish people would like to be my bestie. So like, whose bestie would you like to be in theory that you don't know? I've got a vote up there for Amy Huberman from myself.
It's very interesting to me that you listed all these women and then the only one that you're like, I'd really like to be my bestie, she doesn't annoy me, is Irish. That says a lot.
Well, I think Katherine Heigl was on my list, right? Especially when she made the Janet Ivanovic movie and I was like, we are kindred spirits. Then she got her teeth done. She started like adhering to all these Hollywood norms. And then she started dressing like Barbara Cartland. No offense. I'm not trying to style shame anybody. Suddenly her hair was in like a perfectly shellacked, coif every day. And I'm like, I couldn't even be keeping up with this one. She's obviously not half as easygoing as I thought she was. Right. So I was like, I couldn't be hanging out with her.
Maybe she just realised she had to play the game.
I don't know. Like, look at the Kardashians. They're not playing that game. They're all taking off their clothes. She's putting on more clothes every time I look at her. She's got an extra cardigan on.
You know what? Do you follow De Moi on Instagram?
Do not.
DEUXMOI. It's basically anonymous celebrity gossip sent in via DM, where people go like, oh my God, I bumped into this person in this place. And it really makes it like a lot of people, say Anna Kendrick, for example, has got a lot of, she's terrible. Like, she's awful. She's really rude. She won't speak to extras. She won't speak to wait staff. You're not allowed to look her in the eye, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Shailene Woodley is apparently very nice, learns every extra's name, blah, blah, blah. So now I think I'd quite like to be friends with Shailene Woodley. But like, all along, I think I've always thought myself and Drew Barrymore could be great friends.
God, I would definitely love to hang out with Drew Barrymore. She's got the sideways smile. She has a lisp. I don't know about Shailene Woodley because I feel like, oh, she has a lisp and she acknowledges she has a lisp, Rosemary. You did a bit of a double take there. Like she herself.
No, I know, but I just was like, your criteria for friendship is very interesting to me.
Oh, yeah,
smile
totally.
Yes,
I'm like, we have so much, but I'm like, we have so much in common. The only thing I don't know about Anna Kendrick, she does a great cup song. I don't know. She seems, I feel like I don't know that I could be, I don't know that I feel like I look at Anna Kendrick and I think she seems extremely serious, right? She seems...
No. Anna Kendrick is the one that they all said was awful.
Oh, no, I get
Woodley
that.
is
But
the
like,
one who
Rosemary,
could be friends
I'm
with.
not listening to gossip, the way you are. I'm just saying my own personal take on it is that I think she seems serious. And the reason I think she seems serious, and this is my own now total inner judgment coming out, is that she wears a lot of very fitted clothes. And I'm like, she seems very uptight. Like there's no kind of relaxation. I can't imagine her in a pair of baggy lounge pants, right? As I went out today and I caught a glimpse of myself. Now, it is a pandemic. I recognise that. But nonetheless, I looked like a disgrace. And when I went out in my flecked, I'll show you, oatmeal coloured track pants from Target, I realised as I went into the off licence at 11:02 a.m. this morning, right, I was like, I actually look like I'm one of those people that I look at in pictures and I do a double take. Do they have pants on? I'm like, I looked actually, I had a big puffer jacket.
About that the other day.
I had a puffer jacket on, a skin coloured airy sweatshirt that you can see, and a pair of truly Irish coloured, skin coloured leggings. And I was like, oh my God. Now, did this deter me from going in and buying my bottle of Kahlua and my 2 bottles of wine that I'm currently soaking down my neck? No, it did not. But I did do a double take. Also,
would anything deter you? No.
Well, if I was actually wearing no pants, potentially, I'd have to I'd have to take my jacket off and wrap it around my waist.
Wrap it around your waist, yeah. You'd still be going in.
But I'll tell you, I was like, not only was I like, this is like a double whammy. I was like, these trousers not only do they look like my skin coloured flesh, they also are doing a terrible wedgie up the back of my bum cheeks. And I was like, this is hideous.
Did your puffer jacket not at least cover your arse?
No, of course not, Rosemary.
Oh,
I know. That's exactly the thought I had as I went into this poor off license. I was like, well, I'm in Fort Wayne. It's a pandemic. it's a bum-demic. What can they expect? Anyway, so back to Anna Kendrick. Obviously, she has all the clothing, requirements that I obviously need, and I resent her for it. So she's not the person for me.
No, but she does seem quite stiff. Like, I see what you're saying. And you know what? I often think, looking at even, not really fashion bloggers necessarily, but certain people on Instagram, right, when they post their outfits, I'm like, do you really wear those like hard things all day? Do you know what I mean? Like blazers and shirts and things that need to be ironed. I'm like, do you have to, it's honestly Monday to Friday you're wearing ironed things.
Maybe they have maybe they have somebody to iron them for them. Maybe they have a steamer. I bought a steamer, and let me tell you, it was the best thing in my life for a day and a half until one of my children took the steaming plastic thing out and dropped it on the ground, and it's still since been out in the garage. And I look at it wistfully every time I go outside with the wrinkledy top on, and I go, oh, you could have been so great for me.
Why don't you throw it out?
Why would I do that?
You imagine you're going to fix it?
I'm imagining I'm going to replace that steaming part, the steaming basket.
Oh.
And yet, have I once, since in the 3 years that it's been broken, looked up what that part would look like and how much it would cost to replace? No, but I should. Do you know what? I've got like Steamers 4 kids and I'm like extremely exhausted. I don't know when I would be. I'm extremely exhausted. I'm extremely exhausted. You like that? I don't know where I would actually have time to be steaming these clothes. I'm hoping that somehow Mom's going to miraculously get that vaccine in her arm and come over and steam my clothes because she really objects to unironed clothes.
Does it go in your arm, the vaccine? I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it goes in your upper arm, I think, like a measles shot, like a flu shot.
Oh, Beatrice, you have a 9-year-old. Surely it's only a matter of time before you can set him to the chores. He could be steaming in a year or two.
Having a laugh, Rosemary, it's all I can do to get him to empty the dishwasher. Today I said, it's your guy's job to empty the dishwasher. Oh, anything you want, Mom. Anything you want if we can just play games. I said, great, you guys can empty the dishwasher. Is she joking, Dad? Why would I be joking? Oh, I don't know how to empty. I don't know where this goes. This is so much work. Oh, I'm like a slave. I was like, get a grip. Literally get a grip. Sorry, Rosemary, this is what they say to me. I'm going, get a grip.
I'm like a slave.
I know. Anyway, so we said, okay, Anna Kendrick could be a lovely person. And she comes across as very witty and down to earth, but I find her persona to be not relaxing to me, right? So then it was
I believe all the rumours, so I don't want to be her friend anymore.
Oh, well, back to Catherine Heigl, who seemed, in my mind, to be great. And then suddenly got her teeth done, which is her business, except it made her more perfect. Do you know what I mean? Inverted, in quotes. I was going to say she wasn't as relatable, right? She was no longer as relatable because I was reading this week an article in Vogue about Angelina Jolie. Did you read it?
No.
It's on Instagram, right? It's in Edward Enninful's bio, right? He has an article about Angelina Jolie and he goes up to her. I sent you on one of the pictures, right? Don't
follow him. Edward Enninful and Angelina Jolie, two people whose best friend I would not like to be.
Okay. And the whole thing was about Angelina Jolie and how she's an old style movie star and nobody knows anything about her, right? Apart from the fact, they know bits about her, but she is very private and enigmatic, and you don't see her going to Kroger and, filling her basket. You see, she's kind of this movie star of, the olden days, and she doesn't talk about her relationships, etc., etc., etc. And I was like, God, does she even actually have any friends? I was actually wondering, would it be weird to be like, I am Angelina Jolie's bestie? Does she have a bestie? Whereas I could see, what's her face?
Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, or any other person. I'm actually their friend in real life,
Do you think, if you were Angelina Jolie's bestie, do you think you've signed an NDA or do you think you've just been besties for so many years that you're really sound? And
that's actually a really good point because I remember when I lived in Milan, the governess, that's not even an expression, the governess, we had Julie and I were friends with an individual who was the governess / security detail for a very famous designer and her kids in Milan, and she had and she was literally oh, you wouldn't believe, but she couldn't tell us anything, and it was so infuriating. She was you wouldn't believe this. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure they have NDAs out the wazoo. I'm sure you're right.
There's nothing I hate more though than when somebody says, I can't tell you this. You know what I mean? I can't tell you. I'm I wish you had just kept your mouth shut for the entire time because now all I want to know, every time I look at you, all I want to know is this one thing that you won't tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you who's bestie I'd love to be. Barbara Streisand, right? Because she is Barbara Streisand, okay? Because she's Barbara Streisand, because she's amazing, right? Because she's an amazing singer and I'd just like to be in her house and have her stroll up to the piano and knock out a few show tunes. Because apparently, because her son-in-law, her stepson is Josh Brolin, on whom I have a major crush, right? Massive crush, okay?
Right.
Right, you know who he is,
I don't think being besties with Barbara Streisand is going to get you in there with Josh Brolin.
Well, literally it is if I'm going to be hey, I'll just hang out by your pool every day of the summer, Barbara, until Josh rolls up, okay? And then I'll act really nonchalant and
Beatrice, I've seen your pool maxis. This is not going to seduce Josh Brolin. You're going to have to invest in a whole new non-target wardrobe for this endeavour.
Rosemary, this is my fantasy. And apparently Barbara Streisand has a full village or city of an entire city of shit that she loves underneath her house. She has built out an entire city of stuff underneath her house. Do you know that? She has caves.
That sounds like a cult. I've seen that documentary.
She has caves and caves and caves of everything that she's ever collected underneath her house. Do you know
Oh
that?
my God, you honestly, no, I didn't know that, but you have the words. She has a lovely sideways smile and a lisp. I'd love to be friends with her. This other one is very talented and has caves underneath her house.
Oh my God,
I
but
would
listen.
never have accused you
Let me
of it.
tell you now. Oh yeah, instead of just storing my things in the basement, I make a street of shops and display them, she says. Right? It's true. She has an entire, that's it. She has a mall under her house of all the stuff that she has collected just there for her to peruse in her own time.
Absolute dream.
What?
Your dream.
I don't know. It's my dream. I'm like, what must this look like? Oh, do you know who I'd love to hang out with? Actually, Dolly Parton.
I knew you were going to say Dolly Parton. It's honestly, it's only 2 steps from Barbra Streisand to Dolly Parton.
I know. I'm like, is it coincidence?
But everybody would like to be friends with Dolly Parton.
Would they? I don't know. I don't know. Mom thinks she has extremely skinny legs and wears weird clothes. I would like, every time I talk about Dolly Parton with Mom, she's like, oh, she was on Ryan Tuberty last week and she had very strange trousers on. Like, I would literally love...
And she says things as well, like, her hair is ridiculous. And you're looking at her like, her wig. Do you think it's a wig?
But like, honestly...
Sorry, Joan Rivers was on the Late Late one night and Mom turns to me like, honestly, like stony-faced and went, do you think she's had some surgery?
Bless poor Mom. Do you know she's a dote?
Oh, the innocence.
I just want to be, though, like, I just want to do a duet with both of them, right? For me, for only me, not for publication to the world while you roll your eyes back and forth and they almost roll out of your, keep those eyes in your head, Rosemary. But like, I would just love to sing with them. Can you imagine? Although, if Barbara rang me up tomorrow and was like, hey, do you want to sing a song? I'd be like, Barbara, I couldn't. And I'd be like, yes, Barbara, I do. I'll be down tomorrow in a shot to your gaff. I'm telling you, then they'd be like, here's what I would say, Rosemary, here's what I'd say. I'll be down tomorrow in a shot to your gaff. Your stepson be there.
Invite the whole family. We'll have a soiree. I would like to hang out with Miley Cyrus. I think Miley Cyrus seems really sound and like she would be really good fun to hang out with. And yeah. Like, she doesn't seem to take herself too seriously, which I quite like.
I kind of love her, right? But I'm also like, today she had a thing on her Instagram that was like, it's Catter Day, hang out with your pussies. And I was like, I don't know how much. It's a bit like, how many times can you make the same joke? I've heard her, like, she has her Catter Day song and her pussy song. And I'm like, is there another like witticism in there that you could, work up? Because I've heard, like, this is not really digging deep into the punism like side of things.
Punism.
That's right.
Is that a word?
That's right. Yeah, it's a word.
Oh.
I've just invented.
As well as Miley Cyrus, I would like to hang out with Taylor Swift.
Oh, would you?
I obviously think I'm younger than I am, but yes, I think...
Oh, what age is Taylor Swift?
Yeah, 30?
I don't know. You don't need to feel bad about that. Like, Olivia Wilde is going out with Harry Styles. There's a 10-year age gap between them. Like, you'd happily hang out with somebody who's down to 25, Rosemary. That's your but I actually
just felt bad because you were going with like Barbra Streisand and Dolly Parton and staying firmly within your age bracket, and then I was going below mine.
Oh, that's really witty, Rosemary. Funny. Ha 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 ha. I just fell off my chair laughing your gas.
You have no sense of humour about yourself and your rapid aging.
I laughed. I nearly died.
Okay, Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think when she first came out.
When
she was doing the whole kind of, when she first came out on the scene, like as in when she first emerged as an actor, and she was doing all the red carpet, she was falling everywhere, and she was like making jokes, and she did this interview with, I think it was Graham Norton, and they were talking about 3D printers, and she was like, it was actually hilarious. She was like, wait, what? And they were like, 3D print, and she's like, what is a 3D printer? What are you talking about? And they were like, you can print in 3D, and she was like looking around going, like, is this a real thing? Do other people know about this? Like, I've never heard about this in my life. And I was like, oh my God, you literally just don't read the news. You don't are so out of touch, right? But then when she started hanging out with the Kardashians on their yacht, I was like, oh, maybe you're fun.
What?
I would really like to hang out with rich people.
No, I don't really care about Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, she's grand, but like once I realised that I could have done that Sparrow role better, I just kind of lost all respect for her. Now tell me about would you like to hang out with the Kardashians? Is that what I'm hearing here? Is that what I'm reading between the lines?
I mean, I would love to wake up tomorrow and suddenly be like, not to make another Buffy reference, but like in season 6 of Buffy, when Buffy wakes up and has had all these memories implanted that she has a sister that she never had before, I would like to wake up and have all these memories implanted that I have a best friend I never had before, and it's Kim Kardashian. Then all of a sudden Kim Kardashian's my best friend and giving me loads of money. Yes.
What? Why would your
that.
best friend be giving you loads of money? What is this weird thing that you've got going on here?
Not giving me loads of money, but like if she was going to Nobu, I'd be going too, and I wouldn't be paying. I'm poor. She'd be paying.
What?
She's Kim Kardashian. I'd be living the high life on her dime. That's how friendship
So you're
works.
telling me that you'd like to be Kim Kardashian's friend because she has money, basically is what I heard from you there. You didn't mention a single personality attribute or even physical attribute, just she'd pay for you.
Just about to say a sideways smile is not a personality
Just
attribute.
she'd pay for you. Okay. So you'd like to be paid for. Okay, that's nice. That's
Yeah,
profound.
what's the like sugar baby alternative but for friendship and you don't have to give anything back? That's what I'd like.
You could write her, you could be her ghostwriter.
Oh God.
Oh my God, you're absolutely useless. I thought of one thing you could give back and you're like, no.
I just said I don't want to give anything back. It's the whole point. I just want to take. Not give.
I can't even. Okay, this is not friendship. Okay, who else would I like to be friends with? Let me think about this. What am I watching right? Oh, what am I watching right now? What am I not watching right now? More like
Sarah Paulson. I really like Sarah Paulson. I'd like to be her friend.
Yeah. Yeah, she
has a kind of a sideways
I feel like I
smile
could be
as well,
friends with Mark
slightly.
Ruffalo.
Oh man, you've thrown a spanner. Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You know, he's politically inclined.
Woke?
He's woke. He's the Hulk. He's cute.
Okay, none of those things are personality attributes necessarily.
He's woke. That's a personality attribute.
Is it?
Yeah.
Every second person's woke these days.
No, they're not, Rosemary, at all. You live in Ireland. Oh, no, you don't. You live in America.
Just because we don't see each other anymore doesn't mean you can cast me off to the other side of the Atlantic.
Still here.
Rude. You should try saying that to your kids sometime. Oh, forgot you were still here.
God, you couldn't forget they were still here, I'm afraid.
You know what? I started watching, so Marion Keyes was doing these Instagram live kind of creative writing workshops for free every Monday on her Instagram, obviously.
Nice.
And I think they're now on her YouTube. But I was watching those and I was like, oh, she just seems so nice and so warm and I'd quite like to be her friend.
Oh.
And I swear to God, nothing to do with what she could do for me in the publishing world.
Probably not that much if you're not any good.
No.
But I mean, I'm assuming you're good. I just more mean like she probably could. I feel like that gives more credit to, you know, connections. I think you have to be a good writer is my point. Like the same thing with, on the other hand, that's not quite true because I think in the world of fashion, if I think about, you know, Isabella Blow, etc., like there was a huge amount of like connections, you know, if you got connected or introduced to the right person, you were Stella McCartney.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's still, I mean, of course, connections are always such a big deal. Okay, but she does seem very nice, I have to say.
Yeah, she seems lovely. Who else? Is there anybody, like, who's like an A-lister who you could still be like, I feel like we could just hang out and have a really fun time. I'm trying to think of all the celebrities who were on that home edit show that I watched, the like organization show.
What about Reese Witherspoon? Would you like to hang out with her?
I was just going to say Reese Witherspoon. Yes, right. She does seem really nice and she seems like, I like the projects she takes on and the stuff she decides to produce. And anytime I've read interviews with her recently, she seemed really like sound and very, I suppose, proactive about kind of furthering women in Hollywood. But then again, she wears a lot of tailoring, which just feels like not that relaxed.
Make you laugh a minute, like all those things that she's super, all those causes. But on the other hand, maybe she was a bit edgy at one point because she was going out with Ryan Philippe, who seems extremely less maybe together than she is. Is probably a PC way of saying it.
They were married, weren't they, for like 10 or 15 years?
Oh yeah, they were married for years, yeah. What about Jenna Lyons? I love Jenna Lyons of J. Crew, right?
I don't know.
She now has her own
TV
design TV show on HBO, and she seems very normal and nice and fun and cool to hang out with. I'm like, I'd love to hang out with her. What about Chloe Sevigny?
No, she's too cool for
What?
me. I think I would just spend the whole time feeling like her really uncool
Oh my
friend.
God, I would
No.
love to hang out with Chloe Savini after what was that? What was that? Big Love. Was that the TV show?
Big Love,
So brilliant.
such a good show.
Such a brilliant TV show. What about your woman Amanda Seyfried, who was also in Big Love and is now living in upstate New York with a goat and her husband and kid, like living on a farm? Yeah, what about her? She's not my she wouldn't be
I wonder
my.
if that's how she defines herself. I live with a goat and my husband.
Yeah,
and my
literally.
kid.
There was an article recently about like Amanda Seyfried moves upstate and finds her inner self with the goat. I mean, not quite that.
No, I read an interview once where she got the word minge tattooed on her foot because she just thought it was really funny, and I'm like, that's not my sense of humour.
Oh no, you got minge in Ohm. Did you not tattoo it on your ankle? Nobody can deny
I
that.
want to talk about my
You
questionable.
can't deny
Ohm
it.
tattoo,
Like it
thank
could
you.
be minge. Who knows?
It says Ishka, but listen, we can move on.
Minjka.
You arsehole.
You're actually hilarious. Let me think. Who else? Who else would I read? Here's who I would not love to hang out with. What's her name? Carla Bruni, because she married what's his face? Macron.
Nicolas Sarkozy.
Oh, Sarkozy, yeah. Carla Bruni, who's constantly being like photographed with a guitar, looking extremely modish, even while she was living
would like
in
to
like
hang out with-
Versailles. Not my cup of tea.
I would like to hang out with Stella McCartney so I could just like every now and again go, how would you go out of that? She's like, I painted these rocks so that they'd be more in keeping with
No,
Metro.
Rosemary.
Like,
Sorry,
Stella?
Rosemary. For context, for the people who didn't read that interview, Stella McCartney, in one of her McCartney stores, there was an interview with her, and she talked about, they were like, oh, the rocks in these stores are amazing, and she said, yes, I took them from our island or from our farm. Where was it? Like an
ancestral home or something.
From our ancestral farm on like the Mull of Kintyre. And I put them in here. She said, and they were like, oh, they're such a beautiful colour. She said, yes, I sprayed them blue, green and grey to really bring out the natural beauty in them, which, I mean, honestly would defeat the purpose of the natural beauty. But like, what the hell? Could you not get some rocks around the corner if you're going to then spray paint them? This is bizarre. But what do I know? Maybe she's great.
Lily Allen.
Oh,
like
you
to hang out with
love
Lily
her.
Allen.
And she's going out with that cool
And
dude
I love David
from Stranger
Harbour.
Things.
They're married.
They're married?
They're married. They got married in Vegas and they had In-N-Out burgers.
Oh my God.
Dream.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that menu, but I'm into that couple. Like, that's great.
I love In-N-Out. I've only had it once and it was delicious.
I've
on
never
the way
had
in
it,
and on the way
but I'm not
out.
that into takeaways. I'd like to say. But he's cool. He's a great actor, and she's extremely talented. What a nice couple.
Yeah. And they seem really happy, and like she's always putting up Instagram stories of him basically just like being really normal with her kids.
Oh, well, why
Which
wouldn't
is
he
just
be?
really
In
nice. Like,
fairness,
they just don't seem very celeb-y.
That's a very
you know what I
low
mean?
bar you've got there, Rosemary.
I mean, yeah, that is a very
Okay,
low bar.
what about, here's a good one.
I would
Gwyneth
like to hang out with
Paltrow.
her.
Gwyneth Paltrow. There you go. You're a bestie.
I plead the fifth.
Why?
I reserve the right not to say anything that will incriminate myself. I don't want to sound bitchy, and a lot of my friends really like Goop, and I think if they want to like Goop, no, I would not like to hang out with Gwyneth Paltrow. She, again, a lot of tailoring, absolute pain in the arse. And again, I think I'd spend the whole time going, would you go out of that, Gwyneth? She's like, no, I haven't had Botox in years. I just practice like Ayurvedic smiling. I'd be like, would you Ayurvedic out? Like, fuck off.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I appreciate, she's a grand actress, right? There's a difference between being a grand actress. But like, seriously, do not be telling me to put jade eggs up my, you know what, right? Sorry, Mom. Because like, that is not medically proven and I'm not into it. And right, I don't mean that to be rude, but like, Rosemary, I don't want you to tell me, try and give me faux medical advice. And I think you're probably actually more trustworthy than Gwyneth.
Did you watch her show on Netflix?
I did not, and yet you did.
I did, with Beatrice. I'll watch Anton.
And honestly, did you enjoy it? Did you leave thinking to yourself, oh, there's actually medical knowledge here?
No, there's an amazing episode where they're talking about this kind of weird, like, tantric massage where this, oh my God, it would drive me absolutely mad. This masseuse guy doesn't even touch you. He just hovers his hands above your body. Be like, what is the point of this? Like, would you just give me a rub? I'm like, my back's killing me.
But isn't this what Sting and what's his wife's name? Sting and what's her name? Not Sadie. What's her name? What's his wife's name? Sting and I'll look it up right now.
Iman.
Right? No, that's David Bowie. Having a laugh.
Oh, Well, then who is it with Sting then?
She's that Trudy Styler.
Trudy Styler.
Studi Tyler.
No, they're into tantric sex.
Yes,
it's different.
but they talk a lot.
Actually...
They talk a lot about how they sit looking at each other for hours with no touching, and how that's the most exciting part. And I'm like, God, that sounds amazing. Except literally 2 seconds into just even looking at each other, it's like, Mom, that's what. Ah! You're like, excuse me? I'm like, okay, we'll ignore them. It doesn't sound really sinister yet. Mom, my eye. You're like, we better go out and pay attention to this.
I'd say those are exactly the noises that Sting and Trudy Styler have tantric sex to.
Precisely.
The soundtrack.
Precisely.
Anyway, this massage, they had Julianne Hough, you know, the dancer.
Yes.
Like dancer / actor. They had her in as the massage client.
Oh yes,
and she was like, yeah, and she was basically practically falling off the table and like screaming in like not quite ecstasy, but
ecstasies.
Not quite. Oh my God, it was so weird. It was so uncomfortable to watch. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Was it, Rosemary? You know what? Why are you so judgmental? Why don't you go and try it? Why don't you go and try it for this show? Why don't we send you to have somebody lay their hands over you and see if you too fall off the table in ecstasies of pre-orgasmic, ecstatic writhing? Is that what you would call it?
Oh,
your eyes.
Honestly, I'd say all you can see now is the whites of my eyes.
All I can see right now are pre-orgasmic, ecstatic writhing of eyeballs.
I cannot. How about we send you for this show? This is not like expose.
Rosemary,
send you.
Could it be? How about, I'm like, how much would it cost to send you? Next time you're home, not a flight from America, just to be clear. Next time you're home in Dublin, how much would it cost to send, where did this happen? Where did this take place, this writhing?
LA.
Oh my God, you're even closer than we thought. Stop rolling your eyes. How about we send you over there?
Next time you're home in Dublin, where did you think Gwyneth was shooting this show,
Rosemary,
Beatrice?
do you know what? Apart from anything else, they probably do it via Zoom now. So how about you get up on the kitchen table, we Zoom it in, and we'll see if it works. Rosemary, there's a lot of other stuff going on right now.
I'll tell you what.
Are we into this?
I'll try this.
Will you?
If you'll try tickle yoga.
What the hell is tickle yoga?
It's yoga.
Rosemary, I can't. I'm way too ticklish. Are you joking? What the hell is tickle yoga? I'm actually my feet are actually tickling right now. Are you joking?
No, Beatrice, it's meant to be a great bonding experience and something about connecting with your inner child.
Is this a joke? Why would you say this to me? I can't.
So that's a no to the tickle yoga then, is it?
Wait, where does it happen? Where is tickle yoga a thing?
LA, once again.
Oh my God, yes. Okay. Absolutely.
We'll both go.
What happens? You get tickled. Do I have to stretch or just lie there and be tickled?
I don't really know. I'll look it up. I'll find out everything about it for you.
If you will go and have like somersaulting, no touch orgasms, I will happily be tickled for the benefit of this program.
I will happily lie on a table while some man tinkles the ivories a foot above my body.
Tinkles the ivories. I'd like everybody to know that what you said. I'd like everybody to know that that was actually gross. What those finger movements you just made, and I'd like everybody to know that when you just said, "I will happily lay on a table," and then you did a massive lick of your lips, which was repulsive.
I'm going to start doing these without camera because this is a podcast for a reason, not a TV show.
God, I've never.
I should be able to lick my lips in peace. Thanks very much.
Okay. Okay, so we've a new commitment. Okay.
Safe to say, after this episode, Gwyneth is not going to want to be best friends with either of us. Because
Why
I'm
not? Maybe
I'm
she
being
could
a skeptical
convert you.
bitch and you're being a ninny.
A ninny? Maybe she could
A
convert you.
ninny. You giggled like a ninny there for 10 minutes, Mum be horrified.
I didn't giggle. I was having tickle spasms. Okay, so not Gwyneth, not Angelina.
I should probably try and think of some men.
No, I did.
But I hate them all.
I did. Mark Ruffalo.
No, I'm saying I should.
Oh yeah, I had a good one there for you. Who was it? What about Colin Farrell, a good Irish friend, Colin Farrell. I actually think Colin looks like great crack.
I could never be friends with somebody whose sex tape I've seen.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Wouldn't be able to get it out of my head.
I haven't seen. Why would I?
What?
Why would you watch that?
I can't remember. Somebody showed it to me in college.
How would you watch anybody's sex tape? It's like a porn, I suppose.
I have no idea. It's so gross. Like the idea of it now that I'm woke.
He's such a great actor. He
I'll
seems
give you that.
very down to earth. I mean, I don't know anything about him or his, approval rating is what I'm trying to say. Like, is he a decent person or not? I couldn't tell you.
Oh,
But,
yeah,
like,
I
he
see what you mean.
seems-
Like,
he's-
what's the consensus
Yes,
on Colin Farrell? We don't know.
Don't know. Know nothing. Have heard nothing. No rumors. But like, he seems an excellent actor, and his interviews at the very beginning. Do you remember? He was always, when he became famous at the very beginning, he was always like, "I'm out drinking and I'm doing this," and he was all like, "I'm shagging this bird and that bird." But like, he seems much more.
Poor Britney.
Yeah. Well, like he seems. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, fair play to Britney, but like he seems just much more. I mean, I suppose it happens to
Old?
everybody. Yeah, old. He grew up, right? He realised, like, you can't actually have a child with every single person you meet, or you can't afford it, right? Or maybe you can. I mean, who knows? Again, I don't know the consensus on him. I have no insight into his finances. Would I like to go for a drink with Colin Farrell? Because I think he would be a good laugh. I do, because I also think he's very talented. Oh, what about...
No, I have one. Kirsten Dunst. I love Kirsten Dunst, and I would love to be her friend.
Do you? What about Emma?
And I love her husband Landry from Friday Night Lights, whose real name I can't remember.
That's not her husband. Oh, it is her husband.
Yeah.
The red-headed guy.
I just can't remember his name.
The guy who's in that Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and he made that
Is
new
he in
movie.
those?
He made that new movie now that's out on Netflix, and it's supposed to be absolutely amazing. Right?
He's also in True Detective.
Yes.
Oh no, not.
Yeah, he is. I think he's in one of those. Is he not? And there's that
Or
amazing
Fargo. Fargo.
Oh, Fargo. That's where they met.
Yeah.
And then there's this
Yes.
amazing new movie where he is the boyfriend of a girl, and she is the girlfriend of a boy, and they're going back to his parents' house for the holidays, and it's this really weird, like, a bit. What's that director's name? I can't remember. But every movie that he makes is kind of surreal. You're like, is this actually happening, or is this what this person's imagining? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's such an interesting movie. And it was really funny because when I read an interview with him afterwards, he talked about how he was like, some of my best times ever were in that movie, because in the movie they're going home, like it's bucketing snow down on them in the car, and he was like, and we're in this garage and people were just throwing snow at the windscreen, and I was shouting and screaming, and I'm like, how weird it must be to be an actor genuinely, like how do you go to work every day, like, and show up and know, like, how do you not feel super self-conscious, but at the same time knowing that everybody else is there in order to support you pretending? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people come to... I think because I was in Dublin Youth Theatre, which is nothing, like, it's not about being a professional actor, but my self-consciousness was always a huge barrier to me in being, I think, decent in any way at acting, right? Because I was always like, really, like, what are people thinking? What's that person thinking? But if you think about it, the whole crew, everybody there is invested in you doing a good job of pretending, whereas I think that only occurred to me recently. Like, up until then I was always thinking that everybody there was looking at you going like, they're doing a terrible job, that's a terrible pretending,
waiting for you to slip up. Yeah.
Whereas at the end of the day, they're all like, it's in their interest for you to be good at pretending that this snow bucketing on the windscreen is real.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a very unique to that job though, right? Like, I can't think of any other job where, I mean, in theory, right, any job you're in, you all want each other to do well so that the machinery can work well, if you know what I mean. But you're not there, like, you're not in your job to make sure that your colleague does a good job, if you know what I mean. You're there to do a good job on your own behalf to a certain extent, even if you are assistant to the manager or whatever. Like, I wonder if there's another career where you would have that kind of support system around you. Maybe like,
well, I
if,
wonder,
if you're like Chiara Ferragni.
I think the difference,
you know what I mean? Like, maybe if you're a social media star.
Maybe she's the one you should say you'd like to be good friends with.
Yeah, you know what? I followed her initially like years ago when she first started out, and then I unfollowed her, and then I followed her again, then I unfollowed her, and then lately I followed her, and I think from watching her Instagram stories now, and I watched her documentary, and I just think she seems really nice now. And I think, you know, for a while I was like, oh, I'm not sure I like her style, or I'm not sure I like this, or she's just, you know, she does too many ads. Whereas now I'm just like, oh, she seems really sound.
Maybe we've all just relaxed a little bit, though, from our initial kind of hyper critiquing.
My initial jealousy.
No, I really didn't mean that. I meant like.
Oh, no, but like, I meant that.
No, I think when this all started, like, I think right now this year, are we all just a little bit exhausted? We just want other people to be happy and nice. And if they're nice, it's actually, you know, it's a huge step. It's a huge step beyond so many other people in the world, you know, that we have to listen to. But to go back to your earlier comment, I think it's interesting. I don't think it's so much that, you know, you said that I don't know that there are a lot of other jobs where people are so interconnected, but I don't know that there are a lot of other jobs, that's not to quote, that's not exactly verbatim what you said at all, but I don't think there are a lot of other jobs where everybody's success is so dependent on one or two people's performance, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, if you think about, you know, a job you've ever worked in before, it's like, it really matters if the product is successful. It really matters if, like, the jewelry that is sold is successful. It really matters. But like, if you think about the jewelry as like a person, it rarely matters so much that one or two people's ability to be talented is everybody else's success, right? Like, if you're I don't know what the expression is, but if you're like a cameraman or a grip on a really successful movie, that's like really good for you, right? You're like, I was on La La Land. I was the grip on La La Land. Amazing. Whereas I was the grip on this movie that went nowhere. They'd be like, okay, well, you know, I don't know, right? But so much of that is beyond the control of everybody except the performances of the actors. The editing, obviously, is super important. The scripts, right? There are a couple of things. You know what I mean? Whereas in a normal company, kind of everybody has relatively equal weight. You know, we're all pulling together, but like, no,
you're all cogs.
Yeah. Whereas like if my entire department stepped out of the business, nobody could perform. But at the same time, if the entire like merchandising department stepped out, we couldn't perform. And they're not as visible per se to the world because like they don't create the product, but they buy the product, they choose the product. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I guess it's kind of the opposite of, like, do you know, Mom always used to say, remember when I'd be really stressed about work, or I'd be really worried about, or actually it was more when I decided to leave a job, which I've done many times, and I'd be nervous about handing in my notice or something. I'd be like, oh, they're going to be so annoyed, they're going to be so upset, blah, blah, blah. And Mom would always be like, you know, if you drop dead tomorrow, that business would keep going. She's very fatalistic, our mother.
Nice.
But like,
so nice.
But I think that's true in so many jobs, but like you said, it's not true. I mean, like, they'd get a different actor. But the business, like, the work couldn't go on the next day.
But at the same time, the funding might go away because like the funding is based on this actor, you know, or that actor being in the
my
role.
best friend Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, so it truly does actually matter. That's actually interesting. And I imagine what the pressure of that means to you as well. Like, at least there's also something more, you know, easy about. Yeah, I have an important job, or you have an important job, but at the same time, we all are important to the job. Whereas if you are one of the three people upon whom the weight of this entire thing rests, maybe it's not actually a surprise that they're actually maniac divas, not they, all of them, but like that there is more of a tendency. Maybe I'd be an absolute maniac if like you're like, hey, how do you feel today? I'm like, a fucking headache.
Oh my God, I'd be dead by now. I'd be an absolute... Can you imagine the stress?
That's what I mean.
I get so hassled when I'm just like, we've a new podcast episode coming up tomorrow. I have to remember to do an Instagram post.
Imagine... Yeah, I know. Yeah, or you're like, hey, I forgot to post that podcast. Sorry, bad news. It was 5 hours late. I'm like, what the fuck? But like, what if it was like, you know, if you were supposed to be like the star of this movie, it's like, hey, Rosemary, like, you know, the director thinks that like maybe how you did it last time wasn't great. Could you try something different? Could you like maybe do a cartwheel? You'd be like, what the fuck? Fucking cartwheel? Knowing that the entire livelihood of every person on this lot now is depending on you doing a decent cartwheel. How do you feel about that, Rosemary?
Yeah. oh my God, desperate. Well, I can't do a cartwheel, so we'd all be fucked. I'd be going home. But also, I would be terrible because I'm just like, I don't take, not that I don't take criticism well. Like I try to take it on board and I try to improve, but I take it really personally.
No, you don't. So you take it really well. You're really good at taking criticism.
I take it really personally and it would definitely impinge on my performance, and that's all I'm saying.
No, you've gotten way better at it. Seriously, you've gotten much better. I'm not even joking. Why? Okay, will we move on?
Very condescending.
I'm genuinely serious. You've gotten way better. It's not easy. It's not easy. Like, okay. So all this to say,
it's not easy being so easy to criticize.
So what do all of these people that we would like to be friends with us? What do they have in common, Rosemary? What's the thought there?
I'll tell you now what my ones have in common. They look like when they come home from work, they either change into their pajamas or into sweatpants. And that's what I look for in a friend.
Oh.
I don't want somebody who's wearing their jeans all day until they go to bed.
So you approve of my oatmeal sweatpants, skin-tight sweatpants?
Skin-tight sweatpants is an oxymoron. But yes, sure.
Okay, and
what do all of yours have in common?
I think they have extremely cute
character teeth.
They have extremely cute teeth. That's what I was going to say. Not character, cute teeth. They have extremely cute teeth that I always think are like really charming. They have lovely smiles, and they're extremely relatable. Right? They're people who are going to be there for you when you need them, and they have good laughs. That's what
we all know. That's your number one priority in life. Couldn't possibly hang out with somebody with a less good laugh than you.
Oh, no, I meant they are good laughs is what I meant.
They are good laughs.
I meant
they have good laughs.
No, I may have said it wrong. I meant like they're good laughs. Like they're there for the laughs.
You basically really want somebody that you can go and have a few drinks with and laugh your head off. And I want somebody who I can sit in the couch and watch Buffy
Rosemary,
with.
I'm quite happy if they don't. Rosemary, after this 2-year pandemic is going to be over, I don't care if they want to sit in my house, sit in the garden. I don't care. It doesn't need to be about having drinks. I just want to hang out with people who are pleasant and easygoing and like aren't going to stress me out, because this last year has been too much.
Oh my God, don't we all?
Right?
We can dream.
That's all I want.
Let us know which A-list celebrity. You don't have to say us.
Which celebrity?
Nice,
which celebrity?
Which celebrity?
That's exactly right. We want to include ourselves, Rosemary. It doesn't have to be an A-lister.
Let us know which celebrity you would like to be best friends with and why. Just so that we can know. We're not going to do anything with this information except for maybe respond to you. But let us know on Instagram or on Facebook. We're on Instagram at Not Without My Sister. Our Facebook page is also Not Without My Sister. You can email us, notwithoutmysis@gmail.com. Check out our website, notwithoutmysis.com. And we're both on Instagram at Rosemary McCabe and at Beatrice McCabe with A's in our Macs. MACCABE. Just to be awkward. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much in advance for the 5-star review you're about to leave us on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you. You're
we
the best.
Appreciate it so
You'd
much.
You'd be my A-list best friend.
Bye.
Bye.
Not Without My Sister is produced by Liam Garrity, sound and original music by Don Kirkland, and our original illustration is by Lindsay Nielsen.
Not Without My Sister is a member of The Warren, the home of great Irish podcasts. As is my podcast, Meet Your Maker. You'll find more great shows at thewarren.ie.
Looking for a new podcast to listen to? Here's what we love, courtesy of Acast Recommends.
Join me, Kim Zolciak-Bierman, and my husband, Corey Bierman, for a brand new episode of House of Kim every Wednesday, where we unapologetically share the ups and downs of our unpredictable life with 6 kids that you may have seen on Bravo TV. I have been a parent since I was 18 years old and was a single parent for many, 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 many years. When you become a mother, you'll understand that drive to succeed, that passion. They give you another force behind your body that you'll never understand until you're there. And just like you guys, we are always trying to find a way to inspire and increase positivity in our daily lives. A little something like this.
It's your life. You should live your life, and you should want to live your life to the best and fullest. Do what makes you happy.
Listen to House of Kim on Acast or wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast recommends.